What is it like to be black in China?
I feel like Chinese so ignorant about Africa.
It's not a really good experience because there's so much ignorance in China.
Some are nice, some will just say hi, some would ask, and then some others just like stare. And some of them haven't seen any foreigners or anyone who looks like me.
What would you say are some of the stereotypes that Chinese people have on black people?
When they see a Chinese lady married to an African guy, you see a lot of comments.
Yeah? What kind of comments?
Like,
What is it like to be black in China?
from my experience, it's still cool. It's so nice, even though I feel like Chinese so ignorant about Africa. And even upon all that, when they see you for the first time, they will laugh to take a picture with you. So in some way, I don't feel that's racism, you know?
Yeah.
Even though like the person will say, oh, black person, I like take a picture with you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's not a really good experience because there's so much ignorance in China. And then some people, they're actually racist. Sometimes it can be fun because you are different and people are genuinely excited to have you around and meet you and hang out with you and stuff like that. It's like 75% of the time it's not nice, it's not easy, and then the other 25% of the time it's good. So I think that's the experience of being black in China.
How do people react?
This is also funny because I have a YouTube video that I made about like my experience of Chinese people when I'm walking around in China. I just had a GoPro on my chest just walking around this particular tourist location in Suzhou, and it was so interesting how people just keep staring. Some people just walk up to you to take photos. Some people just, some are nice, some will just say hi, some would ask, and then some others just like stare. But I can't blame them. It's like I can understand, and some of them haven't seen any foreigners or anyone who looks like me.
Especially with a GoPro.
And the camera.
What about like meeting people? Do you think like your color or race has any impact on it?
I feel Chinese girls really like Africans very much, and even most of the Chinese guys are jealous of African guys, you know. Chinese girls love African guys, the muscles and all those things. African guys are strong and all those things. So for African guys, it's so easy in terms of dating and all those types. Yeah,
I would say that's also around the world, right? Like athletic, like this conception, right? What would you say are some of the stereotypes that Chinese people have on black people?
when they see a Chinese lady married to an African guy, you see a lot of comments.
Yeah? What kind of comments?
Like, insulted a guy, go to your country.
How was it dating with a Chinese woman?
If you're dating a normal Chinese girl, it's gonna be a tough relationship because people around her are just gonna always question her like, oh, you're dating a black guy? Where is he from?
Yeah.
Africa? You dating a guy from Africa? Like, what's wrong with you, you know? But the girls who like love raps and cool stuff and all of that stuff usually don't have a lot of friends, or most of the friends think the same way as them, so they don't usually get that whole pressure. They just date you, and it's usually fun. And usually it doesn't last. It's just like a short time and everyone moves on. I prefer dating not the ones who love raps and dating and all of that stuff.
You would be more into traditional Chinese.
Not traditional, but like a normal Chinese with an open mind.
What about dating here in China? How has it been for you?
For a long time, I would say none of the Chinese girls liked me here because I think the major problem was like I didn't know how to speak their language, and lots of them didn't know how to speak English, or they weren't confident enough in English. So I think there was that divide.
No,
So
the language barrier.
Yeah. So I would find myself relating more with people who spoke English or other foreigners.
So have you had a relationship with a Chinese person?
No, actually, no. I had a relationship with a half Chinese person.
Half Chinese? Half Chinese, half
German.
Was there any like cultural barriers or like cultural misunderstandings?
Yes, a little bit, but then nothing too major that we couldn't work through.
What were like the worst experience that you had in China as a black person?
In China, sometimes the racism is a little bit passive aggressive. I think some of my worst experiences have just been people outrightly being rude to me just because I'm black. Say you're walking past, they cover their nose. You know, say you're in the subway, they don't want to sit next to you. It has been all these little things, but when I when I talk to my other friends, my other black African friends, we all talk about this all the time, and we laugh about it sometimes too, because it's not our home. We would live here at some point.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, in 5 to 10 years, I see myself back in Africa, in Ghana. I feel like I've really learned so much from China, and no matter where you go, there's no place like home. Even though life is so good in China, everything is cool, but to me, I don't see myself settling in China, no. I feel like there should be a time that I have to go back home. I have to impact. I have to start something new, impact in my country also. It shouldn't always be about me. It should be about my people, my country, and my continent. And I have so many plans that I want to implement in Ghana. So many ideas, so much that I want to do in Ghana.